unlucky. He was not happy with his life. He had a house, but he felt that the house was too small. He had some money, but he felt he did not have enough money. He felt that he did not have enough friends, and that he did not even have a wife. And as you can imagine, he was quite miserable and really unhappy with his life. And he wondered, why am I so unlucky? Why is it that everyone else seems to be more lucky than I am? And he remembered a story that he had heard from his mother when he was growing up about a woman, a wise woman, the wisest who ever walked this earth, who lived at the top of a huge mountain. And our young man said, I will not sit here waiting for my luck. I will go to the wise woman and ask him where I can find my luck. And the very next day, he woke up very early and set off on his journey. And he walked until he came to a wide river. And he looked around and he could not see a bridge. But he saw a boat, and next to the boat was a man whose work was to ferry people from one side of the river to the other. And the boatman was really happy to see our young man. And after greetings, they agreed on a cost for the journey, and the boat jumped into the boat and began rowing to the other side. And as he went, the boatman asked the young man, hey, where are you going? And the young man said, oh, me? I am going to find my luck. I am going to visit the wise woman who lives at the top of the mountain, and I will ask him where I can find my luck. Oh. The boatman said, interesting. Why don't you ask him something for me? Ask her why I can never seem to leave this job. However much I try, I can't leave my job on this boat. And they were now almost to the other side of the shore, and the young man said, no problem, I will ask the wise woman your question. And he jumped out of the boat and continued with his journey. And he walked for many days until he came to a beautiful garden. And he was quite hungry by now. And he looked around, waiting to find if he could see the owner of the garden. And he saw an old man tending to the garden, pulling a wood here, pruning a fruit over here. And our young man called out, hello, I am on my way to find my luck, and I am really hungry. Can you please give me some fruits? And the old man was really happy to see him and welcomed him into the garden, gave him some fruits, and gave the young man a tour of the garden. Oh, it was really, really beautiful. And it was clear that the old man was proud of his garden. But when they came to the center of the garden, our young man saw a tree which looked quite unhealthy. Tiny, tiny leaves, very thin, no flowers, no fruits. And the old man saw the young man's gaze and said, this is my favorite tree of all the fruit trees in this garden. But however much I try, I can't seem to get any fruit or any leaves or any flowers from it. Young man, did you say that you are on your way to find your luck? And our young man said, oh yes, I am. I am going to look for the wise woman, the wisest one who ever walked this earth. And I am going to ask her where I can find my luck. I see, said the old man. Why don't you ask her something for me? Ask her why my favorite fruit tree does not bear fruit, however much I try. And the young man said, of course I will. And the old man gave him some more fruits, and he continued with his journey. And he walked, and he could see in the distance a beautiful cottage. And when he got to the cottage, he saw, sitting outside on the veranda, the most beautiful girl his eyes had ever seen. But he could tell clearly that she had the saddest eyes he had ever seen before. And when the young woman saw our young man, said, oh, hello, where are you going? And the young man said, oh, I am on my way to find my luck. I am going to visit the wisest woman who lives at the top of the mountain. And she will tell me how I can find my luck. Okay. Can you please ask her something for me? Ask her why I am so sad. And the young man said, all right, I will ask you a question. And he continued with his journey. At the top of the mountain and found the wise woman seated under the shade of a beautiful tree. And he did not waste any time asking the questions. Tell me, why does everyone else seem to be luckier than me? Where is my luck? And the old woman said, young man, your luck is everywhere. All you need to do is to keep your eyes wide open. And when you find your luck, grab it with both hands. And that way, you will be happy. And our young man brightened, a big smile on his face. And he was almost heading back home when he remembered that he had been sent by the others. And he posed the questions from the boatman, from the old man, and from the young woman. And the wise old lady said, tell the young woman that she is sad because she is lonely. She needs to find a husband who will keep her company. Tell the old man that the reason why his tree does not flourish is because where it is planted, there is a pot of gold. And that's why the tree does not get enough nutrients. So, he needs to remove the pot and the tree will flourish. Tell the boatman that the reason that he cannot leave his job is because he is under a spell. And the only way to break the spell is this. The first person that he meets and considers him to be a fool, to leave him in the boat, go away and never ever return. Our young man, his heart lighter, his legs quicker, set off on the journey back. was still sitting outside the veranda. And when she saw him, she gave a big smile and said, "Tell me, do you have an answer for me?" And the young man said, "I do." The wise woman said that the reason you are sad is because you are lonely. You need to find a husband and get married. "Is that so?" said the young woman. "Well, then stay and marry me and we can be happy here." But the young man said, Oh, no. I do not have that time. I am on my way to look for my luck, and I am keeping my eyes wide open so that I do not miss the opportunity. "Okay, if you say so." And the young man left and continued with the journey. Garden, and the old man was there tending to his favorite fruit tree. And our young man said, "Oh, Mzee, I have good news for you." The wise woman said, "The reason why your tree is not doing well is because under its roots there is a pot of gold. So if you want it to do well, remove it and your tree will thrive." "Oh, thank you so much, my son. Thank you so much." The old man said, "But I do not have the strength to dig a pot of gold from deep down. And I have no need for it. Why don't you dig up the pot and go home with it? I do not need it. I have everything I need." But the young man said, "Oh, Mzee, thank you for the offer, but I am keeping my eyes open to look for my luck. I have to go." And he continued with his journey. And after walking for many days, he was back at the river. And the boatman was there, waiting for a client such as him. And when they agreed on a price for the return journey, they jumped in and began crossing the river. And the boatman remembered him from the first journey and so asked, "My friend, so good to have you back. Tell me, were you successful in your journey?" And our young man explained to the boatman about his journey and how he had met the old man who owned a garden and the young woman who always looked sad, and that he had indeed found the wise woman at the top of the mountain. And the boatman asked, "Oh, tell me, do you have an answer for yourself? Do you have an answer for the other people? Do you have an answer for me?" Said, "Oh, yes, I do. The wise woman told me that my luck is everywhere, and all I have to do is keep my eyes wide open. And when I get my luck, I grab it." Interesting. That sounds like good advice. And did you get an answer for the old man and the young lady? I did. She told me that the reason the young woman was sad is because she was lonely and that she should get a husband to marry her. And can you imagine? She told me to stay with her, that, we get married. But I told her no. I was keeping my eyes open, looking for my luck. I see. And do you have an answer for the old man? Yes, I did. It's very funny, actually. You see, the reason why the tree was not doing well is because under its roots there is a pot of gold, and all the old man has to do is to remove the pot me to stay there and remove the gold and go with it. But I did not do that, for I was keeping my eyes wide open for my luck. I see. And do you have an answer for me? Yes, I do. The wise woman said, the reason you cannot leave this job is because you are under a spell. Don't worry. She told me how you can break the spell. All you need to do is, the first person you meet and consider them to be a fool, leave them into the boat, jump out and go and never return. And I tell you, my dear friends, when they go to the other side of the river, that is exactly what the boatman did. He dropped the paddles in the boat, jumped out, and ran away as fast as he could, never to return. Wow. I don't know what happened to the boatman. I don't know if he went all the way to the old man's garden and helped him to dig up the pot of gold. I don't know if he went as far as the cottage where the young, beautiful, sad woman lived and married her. But I can tell you one thing for sure. A happier boatman had never been seen as our young man. Yes, anytime he held the paddles and slid the boat across the water from one side to the other side, ferrying passengers from this side to the other side, chatting with strangers, learning their stories, he felt that indeed he had kept his eyes open and he had found his luck. And the two paddles that he held with his hands, he felt that indeed he had grabbed his luck with both hands and he was really, really happy with his new life. And that is how it is with life, isn't it? Well, sometimes the things that people think are good for you don't always make you happy. But I can assure you, especially as an entrepreneur, if you find that thing that makes you happy, well, it will always make you feel good.